Hi guys, in this video I will explain you how does the type tool work in Illustrator. We have the entire list of tools and next to it there's an arrow which I'm going to click to separate that toolbar and put it there for better access. Let's start with the first tool. It's the normal one and it's called the type tool and the quick key is T. The first thing we do is just to do one simple click and start typing. This is the first option we have to add text in Illustrator. To set it, we click on the Transform tool, and then in the Properties panel, we have all these options to personalize our text. We can change the font by picking one of the list or installing our own. There are certain fonts that allows us to change their style, but not all of them have this option. We can also change the size of our text, and if we have more than one line, we can also change the leading, that is the spacing between lines. We can also change the tracking, and this is the spacing between characters. At the bottom of the panel, we have the paragraph alignment options, which allows us to center, justifies, or just change the direction of our text. This is more visible when we have large amounts of text. The other thing we can do with the regular type tool is to create a text box. For that, we just click and drag to create a rectangle. When we do this, Illustrator automatically adds this random text, which we can erase and put our own. For this video, I will keep it so I can explain you the rest of the settings. When our text doesn't fit, we can see this red square, which indicates us that we still have more text, and to fix this we just have to make our space bigger or reduce the size of our text. Remember, for these paragraphs we have the same type of settings like the paragraph alignment, the type of font, the leading, and the tracking. When we have large amount of text and we don't want to display it in one simple box, we have the option to create columns. For that, we go to Type and click in Area Type Options to open this dialog box. I will click in Preview so I can see the changes. At the top part, I have the width and the height, which allows me to change the size of the text box, which I can also do with the transform controls. Then at the bottom of the width and the height, we have the option of rows and columns. The rows split the text, of course, in two lines, and columns is what we use the most, for example, in magazines or in books. You can add as many of these as you need. We can also change the size of the columns and the gutter, which means the spacing between my columns. We also have the inset spacing, which creates this kind of margin around my text inside the text box. Then we have the Area Type tool. This tool will allow me to put text inside a specific shape. For this example, I will use the Ellipse tool, and I'm just going to create a simple circle, and I will remove its fill. Then I will click on the Area Type tool and move the cursor right on the path and click on it. Remember, Illustrator fills this shape with random text, which again we can delete and put our own. And in the Properties panel, I can personalize my text. Now I'm going to put a star so we can see the difference between shapes. A circle, the text we put inside a circle, fits quite well if we pick the right paragraph options. But in a star, for example, we have pigs, so the text doesn't quite fit, and we have to play with the properties options so we can have the desired result. Now, we have the option to create our own shapes. So with the help of the pen tool, we can trace anything we want and then use the same tool, the Area Type tool, to add text inside this personalized shape, which we can modify as we please with the Direct Selection tool. Let's continue with the Type on a Path tool. With the Area Type tool, we put text inside the shape, but with the Type on a Path tool, I put text around the path of a specific shape. So once we have the desired shape, we click on the tool, and then we bring it right in the edge of the path and click on it. And again, Illustrator automatically adds random text. Now let's explore the options of this text. When we use this tool, we need to activate the direct selection tool and pay attention to these small black arrows. This will allow us to move our text around our shape. It may take us a while to understand this at the beginning because things like this can happen. In case that happens, just undo what you did, pick the direct selection tool again, and try it one more time. Let's explore the options when working with text on a path. Go to the Type menu, click on Type on a Path, and Type on a Path options. I click on the preview box so I can see the changes. At the top we have this option which flips the text. Then we have the Effect settings which completely change the way our text looks when we use the Type on a Path tool. Then we have the alignment options, which change the way our text aligns to the path. So take your time and explore all of these options. When we use the Type on a Path tool, the original shape we used to put the text is no longer a shape. So if you want to keep it, the best option is to create a copy before or just add a new shape on top of that one for your desired results. And if you want to add different text at the top and the bottom of this shape, then you have to create two different shapes for each text that you want to include. This way you can personalize the Align to Path options for better results. Instead of closed shapes, we can also trace our own paths using the pen tool. This way you can add your text with the Type on a Path tool and personalize it with the same settings. The next tools do exactly the same but in a vertical way. So you can put paragraphs or put text inside a shape or in a path, but the text will be vertically oriented. Here's another thing we can do with text. I want a specific paragraph to wrap my text. So first I am going to trace or to put my shape and put it in front of the text. Then I'm going to select them both and go to the Object menu, find Text Wrap and click in Make. We click OK and we can see how the text moves around my shape. We can change the way it looks by going to the Object menu and find the Text Wrap options. In here we can change the spacing or the offset spacing that will change how the text wraps around my shape. And we can also change the size of the font for better results. Remember, you can personalize the way the text looks by accessing to their options. So for example here, in this text inside the circle, we can add a margin so the text doesn't go totally all the way to the edge of the shape. Another really cool and important thing that you can do with text is to convert it into curves. This way we can modify it and personalize it even more. So the first thing to do is with a simple click add a word that you like, and in the Properties panel find the Create Outlines option. This will convert our text into paths so we can modify it with the Direct Selection tool the way we want to. After creating the outlines, we have to go back to the Properties panel and click on the Release option so we can break up all these characters into different shapes so we can modify them separately. When we do this, other shapes are created inside letters like the O or the A. To edit them, we need to ungroup them to separate each character and then select both shapes that were created and click in the minus front option in the Properties panel. This way we can only have one simple shape for this type of characters. Then what you can do is just press A and activate the Direct Selection tool and modify these letters the way you want to. I hope you liked this video and I'm really looking forward to see what you do with all these tools.